KWT slaying.
What if the truth was never lost, only buried? For centuries, historians, scholars, and even colonial records have confirmed what many tried to silence. The original Israelites were a black people scattered across continents but never erased. Their skin was dark, their customs ancient, and their covenant with Yah eternal. This journey uncovers how the Spanish and Portuguese Jews, described as dark-skinned, Semitic, shared one bloodline. Chased by the Inquisition, many fled to Portugal, then beyond, preserving their heritage across borders. But the story doesn't end in Iberia. Across from West Africa, black Jews built synagogues, kept Torah, and passed down the laws of Moses. The Limba in southern Africa, the Igbo in Nigeria, the Beta Israel in Ethiopia, tribes across the continent boldly declared, "We are the children of Israel." These aren't isolated claims. These are voices rising from the dust, connected by oral histories, Torah traditions, and the unbroken rhythm of their identity. No such legacy exists among European Jews. No centuries of tribal witness, no matching traditions, no trace of ancient covenant keeping. Maps, art, and archaeology tell the same story. The Israelites were scattered, enslaved, and displaced, but never lost. The world always knew who they were. Their presence was visible, their customs alive, their story intact. This book doesn't speculate. It confirms the Israelites were black, bound by blood, culture, and covenant to the Most High. This is not just history, it's restoration. The truth was never destroyed, only buried beneath centuries of deception. Get your copy of They Always Knew We Were Israelites today, available now on Amazon.com.
Shalom, my family. Shalom, how y'all doing today? Hope you're blessed and highly favored. So, if you haven't done it yet, make sure that you, let's see here. Make sure you go get my book here, right? The Book of Our Fathers. The Bible is an African book. If you want proof, 100% proof that the Bible is an African book, go purchase it. Understand this, that a lot of people don't want you to identify with your African heritage. A lot of FBAs don't want you to identify with your African heritage. Native American Indian Israelites don't want you to identify with your African heritage. But yet their proof for being Israel is an African history. Make it make sense. And also, if you have the book and haven't given me a review, please go do so. Now, as I watch current events, I'm convinced that we are in the midst of prophetic fulfillment. The question is, how long will it take for everything to play out? A year, 2 years, 3 years, 4, 5, 100? 1,000. But one thing I can say, and I'm gonna get your vote on it. Give me a 1 if you think we're in the book of Revelation. Give me a 2 if you do not. Give me a 3 if you just don't know. Because as I watch, I'm like, we smack dab in the midst of the book of Revelation. A lot of prophecies are coming to pass, and a lot of people are just deeply, deeply snoozing. And then we have the agents. Nothing to see here, Jacob. We're not in the end times, Jacob. Here, look at some of these books that are written by the Revelation 2939. Look at some of these Jewish books, Jacob, and come and join us over here with the Zionists. Black folks, mind you. The same black folks that will say, you're not going to flee. Anybody who teaches you're going to flee is lying. They're deceiving you, but yet the Bible says you're going to flee. Now, my question to you, family, who's telling the truth and who's lying? Yes or no, family? Does the Bible teach we're going to flee? Yes or no? I just want to know. Because you have agents going around casting stones. But they also trying to promote the religion of the Zionists. Make it make sense. They got the nerve to want to come into our groups and try to say, if you teaching that we gonna flee, you're deceptive. I say, no, you're an agent. No, I say you're a coon. I say you're deceptive. I say you don't know the prophecy if it hit you upside the head. Now, all I do, I just look at the patterns. I compare things to scripture. And I'm like, this show looks familiar to me. Is what I'm seeing legit? Is this accurate? Is my interpretation flawed or not? Well, I have a good track record. For those who are new to Tail Ministries, just go back 10 years ago. Look at the videos. Look at the prophecy, the first prophecy videos. Look at the fall of the Gentile powers. Before all of this started happening, we called it. But you're not going to flee, though, mind you. That's what they want you to believe. But if you think you're not going to flee, have you been watching the news lately? Have you been paying attention? See, don't come around here and gaslight us, right? Don't gaslight us. Don't gaslight us. I see what I see, I hear what I hear, and I read what I read, and the scriptures are clear. Maybe we see the scriptures through dark glass. We can't see the full figures, but we can see the shapes. Let's talk about the emperor has no clothes. Nah, I'm just joking. But no, let's really talk about the emperor.
I want to bring in now Washington Democratic Congressman Adam Smith. He will, of course, be in that briefing today as the ranking member of the House Armed Services Committee. Congressman, thank you for coming on. I want to start with today's briefing from administration officials. What is your biggest question going into it? Because I'm sure you have a few.
Yeah, what comes next, basically? How is Venezuela going to be run exactly? And crucially, how does that impact U.S. interests? And I think the other big question is, what what is Donald Trump's policy in the Western Hemisphere? Where does this go from here? Since this has happened, actually before it even happened, President Trump has threatened Colombia, he's threatened Cuba, he's threatened Greenland, he's threatened Panama, he's threatened Canada. So what exactly is the policy? It seems to be focused on Donald Trump's power. And basically, he wants to be sort of emperor of the Western Hemisphere. There's all kinds of legal problems with that, but let's just.
So what do y'all think, family? Do you think Donald Trump wants to be the emperor of the Western Hemisphere? Yes or no? I think he does. Now, a lot of our people act like nothing's happening. A lot of people act like this is just regular politics. A lot of people don't act like this is the fulfillment of the end time biblical prophecies before the wilderness experience of the Israelites. See, some people don't want to leave Babylon. That's just the way it is. I'm like, okay, if you want to stay here, stay here. Don't try to convince other people to stay here with you and fall under the plagues. Emperor of the world. Yeah, I like that one too. I think that fits him appropriately. But watch when you step back, right? You zoom out and, instead of focusing on one area of the world, let's scroll out and get a wider view of what's happening. Because I think it's more prophetically relevant than most people want to admit. Now let's pay attention to this. We've read this a lot of times, and please look, if you got your own opinions, keep them to yourself. A lot of people like to come back and tell me, no, it's this, no, it's that, no, the little horn is the United States. No, keep it to yourself. I got my position. You know my position. America is the whore who rides the beast. I told you who I think the little horn is. So as we go forward, I'm going to be telling you some stuff you may disagree with. That's fine. Everyone's welcome to their own opinion. Daniel 11:36-45. The king will do as he pleases. Come on. Hold up. Can we stop right there, family? Is that not Donald Trump? Yes or no? I just started. The king shall do as he pleases. Let's continue on just a little further and see if some of these attributes fits the current sitting president of Babylon. He will exalt and magnify himself above every god and will say unheard of things against the God of gods. Now, you can look at this how you want. But first of all, Trump said he don't need no God because he didn't do nothing, so he don't need to be forgiven of sin. He said it. Trump said he's not a Christian. He said it. Trump is supposedly a crypto. Y'all know what I'm saying. People in the Middle East. Trump is supposedly a crypto person in the Middle East. So he don't follow Yahushua. He bows at the Wailing Wall. And he said things, if you ever heard him. He walks that line where he act like he cares for Christians, but then he don't. But I think there's going to be a bigger manifestation of this because, as you can tell, he only cares about himself. He will be successful until the time of wrath is completed, for what has been determined must take place. He will show no regard for the gods of his ancestors. Now, a lot of people think that's Yahushua, not necessarily, or Yahuwah. He will show no regard for the gods of his ancestors or for the one desired by women. We're going to talk about that right quick. Because a lot of people say this guy here is a homosexual. That's not true. So if we want to interpret this, and I'm doing my own interpretation, he would show no regards for the gods of his ancestors, whether they pagans, right? Whether his ancestors were supposedly Christians, right? He say he don't need forgiveness. So obviously he don't care about the Messiah. I'm just saying, maybe it's a stretch, but let's continue. Or for the one desired by women. Now this translation here, the one desired by women. See that's the one. Oh, he's a homo, Yacoba. See, I told you you're wrong, Yacoba. He's a homo. Now the question has to be asked. Is that what the text truly says? Is he a homo? Because we know Donald Trump ain't no homo. He might be a PDF. I'm just saying. I don't know. That's the rumors with the Epstein file. But he don't regard the desire of women. Now, people say, well, he a homo, he don't desire women, but see, that translation there is also can say that he does not regard desire of women, not one desired by women, but desired by women. What do women desire? Women desire, at least in the ancient context, women desire marriage, household, family, continuity, right? Lineage, right? They want a covenant marriage. They want a home. So when we look at it in the Hebrew, it's the desire of an object. That word desire is himdah. It refers to something valued, sought, or esteemed. What did ancient women want? Most ancient women wanted marriage, and they wanted children. So whoever this person is, he does not value marriage as a covenantal restraint. He does not submit himself to family structure. He treats relationships instrumentally. And he rejects lineage-based accountability, or he don't care about family. He don't care about his mama, his daddy, his cousins, his aunts, his uncles. And he definitely don't care about the Most High. So Hebrew allows us to say desired of women, or what's desired of women, not necessarily the one desired by women. So as we continue, we see, nor will he regard any God. So Trump think he don't need anybody. He don't listen to anybody. What does he need to be saved from? I mean, y'all know all this, right? Y'all heard all this. We've covered this on the show before. He don't regard any God. Does that not define Trump? He talks Christianese, but he say he's not a Christian. He say he don't need to repent of anything, but will exalt himself above them all. Is that not Trump? He think he the king, the emperor of the world. He'll send ICE to pick you up in a second, regardless of the law. Instead of them, he will honor the God of fortresses. What is that? What is the God of fortresses? Can we say military might? A God unknown to his ancestors, he will honor with gold and silver, with precious stones and costly gifts. What is Trump going into these countries for? Resources, gold, silver. Apparently, they say $1 trillion of silver is missing from Venezuela. I don't know. That's what they're saying. Why is he there? At least for the oil. Same thing with Nigeria. Why is he helping Nigeria to save the Christians? He wants their resource. He will attack the mightiest fortresses with the help of a foreign god and will greatly honor those who acknowledge him. Now, pay close attention to this. So he will attack the mightiest fortress with the help of a foreign god. Well, we know the foreign god is that military might, that power. He honors the power of the U.S., the greatest military. He will attack the mightiest fortresses with the help of a foreign god and will greatly honor those who acknowledge him. Now, he will greatly acknowledge those who honor him. He will greatly acknowledge those who honor him. U.S. to send oil companies to Venezuela to fix economy after capturing leader. Just like they did to Africa, destroy leaders, send corporations, steal the resources. Trump says U.S. oil companies will invest billions of dollars in Venezuela after Maduro's overthrow. And will greatly honor those who acknowledge him. He will make them rulers over many people and will distribute the land at a price. Like Hitler, Trump demands loyalty. This is how fascism creeps in before we realize it has taken over our country. When Adolf Hitler took power over Germany in 1933, he demanded an oath of loyalty from state officials that basically replaced any mention of the country's constitution with Hitler. This was the oath of loyalty all state officials were forced to take as of August 20th, 1934. I swear I will be true and obedient to the Führer of the German Reich and people, Adolf Hitler, observe the law, and conscientiously fulfill the duties of my office, so help me God. According to the U.S. Holocaust Museum, the oath was meant to convey that Hitler's will was the same as that of the nation and the people, and that his will could not, by definition, contradict the imperative to observe the law and conscientiously fulfill the duties of office. In this way, the oath appeared to equate Hitler's authority with the Constitution and to ensure that it would be limited by the primacy of law and duty in public office. Most of the military, from the soldiers to officers to general, were loyal and ideologically aligned with Hitler. Peter Frisch, professor of history at the University of Illinois, told Newsweek, October 2024, the price of disloyalty was very high. There were differences over tactics, but these sorts of disagreements were also considered questions of loyalty. And now incoming senior Trump administration officials have begun questioning career civil servants who work on the White House National Security Council about who they voted for in 2024 election, their political contributions, and whether they have made social media posts that could be considered incriminating by President-elect Trump's team. The Association Press citing a U.S. official familiar with the matter. Federal Employees Union response to Trump administration vowed to purge federal workers insufficiently loyal to president. On numerous occasions throughout his presidency, President Trump has gone out of his way to make public comments aimed at intimidating civil service federal employees that for one reason or another have drawn his ire. In recent days, the White House took things a step further by confirming an effort within the administration to actively identify federal employees who are not sufficiently loyal to President Trump, and to take appropriate actions to remove them. He will attack the mightiest fortresses with the help of a foreign god and will greatly honor those who acknowledge him. Government corporations. He will make them rulers over many people and will distribute the land at a price. So he greatly honors those who acknowledge him. Loyalty. A loyalty pledge. He will make them rulers over many people. Trump says U.S. oil companies will invest billions of dollars in Venezuela. U.S. to send oil companies to Venezuela to fix economy after capturing leader. He will make them rulers over many people and will distribute the land at a price. At the time of the end, the king of the south will engage him in battle. Now, all of this here is future, which I think is going to be taking place over the next 5 to 10 years, maybe. At the time of the end, the king of the south will engage him in battle, and the king of the north will storm out against him with chariots and cavalry and a great fleet of ships. He will invade many countries and sweep through them like a flood. He will invade many countries and sweep through them like a flood. Trump hints at more military invasions. Here are the countries to watch. President Trump's capture of Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro over the weekend might be the first step of a larger military effort against Latin American countries. The big picture, as Trump looks to assert his own version of the Monroe Doctrine, his administration has shown little hesitation to act in Latin America through controversial boat strikes and pointed threats that align with the president's broader war on drugs. After Maduro's capture, Trump immediately teased potential military action in Cuba, Colombia, and Mexico, which were among the countries that denounced the U.S. operation in Venezuela, warning that the attack put the region's stability at risk. It's unclear how serious the Trump administration is about military action in the region. As President Trump outlined in the National Security Strategy, the administration is reasserting and enforcing the Monroe Doctrine to restore American preeminence in the Western Hemisphere, control migration, and stop drug trafficking. Here are the countries to watch. Colombia. I'm not going to read everything. Colombia. Cuba. Mexico. Greenland. And at the time of the end, the king of the south will push at him in battle, and the king of the north will storm out against him with chariots and cavalry and a great fleet of ships, possibly Russia and China. He will invade many countries and sweep through them like a flood. Coincidence? He will also invade the beautiful land. Can we say Africa? Now, if you don't believe Africa our homeland, then, go on about your business. If you think the dirt in the Middle East is our land, go on about your business. There's nothing in the Middle East that anybody wants. There's nothing in Palestine anybody want. Maybe some oceanfront beach property. He will also invade the beautiful land. Many countries will fall, but Edom, Moab, and the leaders of Ammon will be delivered from his hand. He will extend his power over many countries. Egypt will not escape, so he's in Africa. He will gain control of the treasures of gold and silver and all the riches of Egypt and the Libyans and Cushites in submission. Now, Libyans can just mean African, just to let you know. It don't necessarily mean Libya as today. And we know who Cushites are, Ethiopians, however you want to call them, Sudanese, East Africa. But reports from the east and the north will alarm him, and he will set out in great rage to destroy and annihilate many. He will pitch his royal tents between the seas at the beautiful holy mountains. Did that sound like the Middle East to you? Did that sound like the Levant? Did that sound like the dirt in the Middle East to you? That he gonna pitch his royal tents between the seas at the beautiful holy mountain? What beautiful holy mountain? Y'all just believe it's a hill? Yet it will come to his end and none will help him. So this is his end result. Daniel 8:25, he will cause deceit to prosper, and he will consider himself superior when they feel secure. He will destroy many and take his stand against the prince of princes, yet he will be destroyed, but not by human power. Now, let's go to let me scroll up here a little bit. Let's see. Let's go to a different translation here. And through his policy also he shall cause craft to prosper in his hand, and he shall magnify himself in his heart. Who that sound like? Sound like Trump? Sound like the same guy in Daniel 11:36? And by peace shall destroy many. By peace shall destroy many. He shall also stand up against the prince of princes, but he shall be broken without hand. Now the word here translated policy refers to a calculated intelligence, strategic planning. And he shall cause craft to prosper, deception, by hook and by crook, theft. Can we say gangster mentality? He's going to reward manipulation, deceit, craftiness. Power obtained without righteousness. He does what he wants. And he shall magnify himself in his heart. He got a big ego. He got a big ego. And by peace shall destroy many. So he's going to destroy a lot of people by saying peace, peace, when there is no peace. Let me remove that closed caption so you can see that better.
Ahead, take a listen.
Do you have a New Year's resolution? I have.
Peace on earth. Peace on earth. Peace. Peace on earth. And he shall magnify himself in his heart. He has a big ego. And by peace shall destroy many. Peace on earth. And he shall also stand up against the prince of princes, but he shall be broken without hand. You could think I'm right. You could think I'm wrong. It's interesting to say the least. So he has the whole world in a tizzy. He went into a sovereign nation, Venezuela, grabbed the president of Venezuela under the guise of a legal operation or government operation, as if the president of another country is under the jurisdiction of the United States. And the whole world is in an uproar. Everybody's crying foul. But because he got a big ego, he magnifies himself. He says, I don't care. I do what I want. I sit a king.
This message goes to every freedom fighters on the earth. You will stand against American imperialism. You will stand against American oppression. You will stand against American invasion. Yesterday they done to Nigeria. Today they done to Venezuela. Tomorrow they will do to South Africa, Uganda, Kenya, Ethiopia. Enough is enough now. You are standing united as one. And we are shutting down all the American embassies around the world. Tomorrow, we are shutting down American embassies. Enough is enough now. Stand united with us. Let's revolt from American and Israeli oppression.
So if you didn't know, they also tried to overthrow Ibrahim Traore during the time that they attacked Venezuela. Just in case you didn't know. This is a global warfare and positioning for those who's going to rule this new age. And they need resources to do it. They got to take it, just like they've always done. If you believe they went to Nigeria to help Christians, you crazy. If you think they went in there to help stop the transfer of quote-unquote drugs from Venezuela, you crazy. Because guess what? You do better stop in Mexico first, right? You do better going to Mexico before you go to Venezuela. But now Trump says, hey, we got their oil. We're going to sell it. I can tell you this. When it comes to his exploits, he wants recognition for what he's doing. We're stealing their oil, and ain't nothing you can do about it. You all are DEI, and we're firing all you black folks. We're removing all of your history from the black museums and the Smithsonian. Because I do what I want. I'm the emperor of the Western Hemisphere. Looks like the king of fierce continents to me, or the king who exalts himself, of Daniel 11:36. Daniel 8:25.
Saying in a few months we're going to take Greenland, and Greenland is part of the Kingdom of Denmark. Here's what the Denmark ambassador, the Danish ambassador, said. Let's play this clip.
Denmark recalls the foundational principle of international law that forbids states from threatening or using force against another state's territorial integrity and political independence. This imperative is enshrined in Article 2, Paragraph 4 of the UN Charter. Members of the UN Security Council have a special responsibility to uphold these principles. The principles of sovereignty, political independence, and territorial integrity must be respected. The inviolability of borders is not up for negotiation. These are universal, sacrosanct principles enshrined in international law. They apply everywhere.
So then you had the Russian ambassador condemning the United States, and the Russian ambassador says, okay, this is your rules-based order that you used to lecture us on. This is what you lectured us on, really? Great work, world. Maybe we should do it a different way. See, it gives Russia the ability to say this. Here, play this clip.
Depending upon the political landscape. Today, we are reaping the consequences of their recklessness and selectivity in matters related to respect for the norms of international law, which were linked to the so-called rules-based world order. Here is your rules-based world order in all of its glory, which is horrifying.
More from the Russian ambassador here, attacking the United States and saying we're appalled by the unparalleled cynicism which Washington did not even attempt to conceal its true aims of taking all of the resources from Venezuela. Here, play this clip.
Of aggression due to a fear of angering the American global gendarme, which is attempting to once again rear its head. We are particularly appalled by the unparalleled cynicism with which Washington did not even attempt to conceal the true aims of its criminal operation, namely the establishment of unbridled control over Venezuela's natural resources and the assertion of their hegemonical ambitions in Latin America. In this way, Washington is generating fresh momentum.
And just think about it. Russia, who engages in the same conduct right now as the United States just did in Venezuela, now is in the United Nations lecturing the United States, and the U.S. has no support. There's no allies. The United States is all alone while Donald Trump's making social media posts about the 2020 election and about windmills and saying that these are bald eagles getting killed by windmills when he's posting photographs of like Israel and Spain. And
So what do you think is going to happen? Do you think the international community is going to be upset with what's happening? And, you know, maybe this is the reason why Babylon's allies betray her? I'm just asking. So even Greenland has an issue with what he's doing. Why? Because he threatened Greenland to take it over. He will invade many countries and sweep through them like a flood. Coincidence? How come your mores ain't telling you about this? How come your mores are ignoring this? What's going on with that? How come nobody's talking about the fact that, you know, you pretty much have to take a loyalty oath? How come people ignore the obvious? How come people are ignoring the fact that he said he's going to invade other countries? How come people always attacking Tail Ministries when Tail Ministries has a darn good track record prophetically? Somebody make it make sense. Is Trump the king of Babylon? Is he the Antichrist? Is he the king that exalts himself? Or some translations, the king of fierce continents? I can only look at the things that are similar. Time will prove who he is and who he's not. But to ignore what is happening is to ignore your future strife and pain. and judgment. The economy's crashing. Jobs are being taken away. Healthcare being taken away. Discrimination and racism is increasing. But hey, nothing to see here. It's all the same thing and nothing changed, Yacoba. Has the Most High told you that you're a prophet? No, he hasn't. But I have my opinions, right? Like, prophets of old, they were given the word of Yahuwah to establish his laws, his rules, direct communication from the Father to his people to build the laws for the kingdom. We don't need that anymore because we have it written down. So there's no true biblical prophets, in my opinion, mind you, as the ones we had in the Old Testament. Now I know the New Testament says he gives us some teachers, some prophets, and all of these things. And I'm not saying there aren't prophets, but they're not prophets like the Old Testament. Because in the New Testament, you have to what? Validate what they say against Torah, right? Is that not? Yes or no, family? According to the New Testament, you have to validate whatever a prophet says against Torah. Therefore, Torah is the real prophecy, right? The prophecy he gives you will probably interpret it. Like I say, I'll never call myself a prophet. I'm not going to do that. The Most High didn't call me that. But I do have a good track record. I call myself a teacher, however you want to put that. But see, I do get the other side of that, right? Because every time I come out and teach about prophecy, what happens? Here come the trolls. Here come the half-truths. Here come the gaslighting. Here comes the misrepresentation. Here's the people who come and say, you're not going to have to flee when the Bible says you're going to flee. I'm like, I'm sorry. What am I going to tell you? I can't tell you nothing but what the Bible said. You're going to tell me we're not going to have to flee, but the Bible tells us we have to flee so we don't fall under the plagues of Babylon. Somebody make it make sense. Who telling the truth? I'm just saying, they try to make you think you crazy. These are not the droids you're looking for. But the Bible says right here, you're going to flee. That's all I'm saying. I'm not telling you to flee. I'm not telling you to go to Africa. I'm just telling you the Bible says you're going to flee. The Bible says you're going back to the land you were taken from. That's Africa. I'm just saying. Eat the meat, spit out the bones. I don't care. Jeremiah 50:16, cut off from Babylon the sower and the reaper with his sickle at harvest. That seemed to have happened already. Called immigrants. They out being deported. Because of the sword of the oppressor, who's the oppressor? Can we say Mr. D. Whitman? Because of the sword of the oppressor, let everyone return to his own people. Let everyone flee to their own land.
This is America.
America is going to be the poorest country in the world starting now. You're going to see the biggest crashes happening right now. So that's good for me because the price of gold and silver go up.
That's interesting because most people in India until the last decade have been migrating to the US, thinking that that is where is the land of opportunity to pursue the great American dream. But over the last 2 years, we've seen an increasing number of people coming back in droves back to India because that's where they're seeing the opportunity. So that.
Okay. People going back to India? Let everyone flee to his own land. Did you think it was going to all happen at one time? Did you think everybody was going to wake up today at 12 and pack their bags and hop on the plane and leave and go to their country? Or was it going to happen over time? In pieces. But hey, you go, but don't know what he's talking about. How many U.S. expats are there? Did you know that millions of U.S. citizens don't live in the United States? Whether they're working, studying, retiring, or just exploring the world, many U.S. citizens have chosen to call another country home. It's estimated that over 9 million Americans live abroad today. Some settle down permanently while others spend just a few years before returning. Their reasons vary. Some are seeking better job opportunities, a lower cost of living, or a new adventure. Others move for love, family, or education. And some move because they're scared. Some leave because they know America is doomed. Some leave because they see that Babylon is falling and becoming the habitation of every foul spirit and demon. Some left because they went into the wilderness a little early. Oh, I know y'all don't like that one. Because everybody got their own idea how the wilderness is supposed to kick off. Well, the dragon's supposed to attack us. We get hit by the fire from his breathing mouth, and we hop on planes and cruise ships back to the continent or back to some other land. When logistically, you could never get over 40 million, at least that's what they say, right? 40 million black folks in the United States to leave all at the same time. That's impossible. It has to be over time. Some people went back to Africa and don't even know why. Now, look, I'm not saying Africa is the end all to be all. As a matter of fact, I believe Africa's going to be invaded. I believe Africa's going to be invaded. By who? The king who exalts himself. Why? To steal their resources and to try to create another scramble for Africa. Does that make America safe? Nope. Why? Because can't you already see your food prices going up? The quality of the water is going down. The quality of the air is going down. No health benefits. National guards in your cities. You think America's better? Over 300 and something thousand black women unemployed, fired by the government and corporations, but y'all think it's good here? You think things are going to change? But we're not going to flee. That's fine. Don't. I'm not telling you to flee. You can stay here. I'm waiting for the appointed time. When I hit the appointed time, then I'm going. I've never told you to go anywhere. I told you where we're going. That's the difference.
That is a very interesting shift that I never thought would happen so quickly in my lifetime.
The fact of the matter is that we're nearing the end. And I think there's a sense that we're nearing the end of this debt finance consumption system. And I think Putin has waited for this to happen. He's done everything he can, along with the rest of the world, to essentially shed debt. BRICS is all about offloading American and Western debt and being debt-free. It's about changing the whole monetary system to something that has real value. Currency, it's backed by something real, gold, maybe other precious metals too, but The point is, everyone is trying to distance themselves from us. We are what we call patient zero, the original carrier of the plague. What's the plague? Well, the plague is the dollar. The dollar is poison. It's how we pass on our debt to people. So what are people doing? They are de-dollarizing. They're getting out from under it. What I'm trying to say is that we should understand the reality of where we are in the West, which no one wants to address. But I think President Putin understands that reality. I know that Xi does. And I know that Tokyo and Seoul have figured this out. And if you go to Northeast Asia and you talk to people there, they're simply waiting for us to leave because they know we can't afford to stay much longer.
My continuing series of America is in trouble. Okay? The Republican Party is still for Trump. The police are still for Trump. Why are the police for Trump? They don't want police reform, and the Democrats want police reform. The police want to continue to kill people, especially black people, and not be held accountable. Now we get the fire department. Is your fire department flying those flags with a thin blue line on it representing fallen police officers? They didn't stop flying those flags until the Black Lives Matter movement. It's a protest against Black Lives Matter. All these people believe they're in charge, and they will do what they want to do, and screw the American people. America, we're in worse trouble than we think. Leave a comment.
I think the United States is in a lot of trouble.
So let's answer this question right here, fam. Nobody knows where the promised land is at, but one thing we do know is the two witnesses will be standing in the land. We follow them. No, that's incorrect. See, that's people who don't study the scriptures. But we do know where the Holy Land is because the Bible tells us where the Holy Land is. It tells us what the land looked like. It tells us where it's going to be located, that rivers are near it. It never tells us about some cotton picking dirt in the Middle East with a Gihon spring and not a Gihon river. Somebody make it make sense. Where's the intellectual astuteness? And the two witnesses will be standing in the land. He don't even know who the two witnesses are. I bet you he looking for a white man, two white men standing in the Levant. Somebody make it make sense. The educational issues here are profound.
When you're in a position of control and a position of trust and people elect you into office and you allow this to happen, I believe it's demonic. When you're promoting the mutilation of young kids and pornographic material to go into schools, this is demonic. There's something happening in this world right now. And, look, I always say this. If you look back in history, the fall of the Roman Empire, two reasons. Number one, immorality among its people and financial stress. Mm-hmm. And that's what we're experiencing here in the United States. I am deeply concerned, not for myself. I'm 71 years old. What are they going to do to me? I've been through everything and I'm a survivor. But I have kids. I have, 7 kids. I have 6 grandchildren, another one on the way. What is this country going to look like?
Rome fell because the Romans stopped making Romans. That's actually the fundamental issue. And there were other things. There was they had quite a series of malaria epidemics and plagues and whatnot. But they had those before. It's just that the birth rate was far lower than the death rate.
It really is that simple.
Y'all hear Elon? Rome fell because they ain't have enough babies. I don't think that's the case. And if they didn't have enough of babies, it's because a lot of those Romans were a bunch of alphabets. They like little boys. Now, the Roman Empire, the main empire, fell after 250 years. Isn't that interesting, fam? We're now in the 250th year of The American Empire. How come everything seems to be aligning prophetically and historically? I'm just saying.
Well, I'm saying that's
More people
that's
is required.
at a fundamental level. If a civilization does not at least maintain its numbers, it will disappear.
This is for those of you who are awake. I think I've been awake for 5 to 6 years now, partially awake prior to that.
So before I continue with this, understand this. Elon also said 2026 is going to be the year they putting that thing in your head. He going to put that chip in your head. Don't be surprised you start hearing more about electronic tattoos, chip implants, because you will definitely hear more about digital IDs. The promised land is not Ethiopia. It's not desolate. See, he don't even know what desolate means. Using Enoch's logic and biblical scripture, the land is beyond the river of Ethiopia. I have a question for you, Rob. Why are you here? You must be a white boy or something. You must be new. Why are you here? You have not done a lick of research. Don't come in this chat and start talking crap. Because I will call you out and put the link there and have you come out here and defend yourself. Which I know you can't. Because you ain't do no research. Oh, because the land ain't desolate. Don't let me put the link out there, but I know you ain't going to click it anyway. I will embarrass you. I will embarrass you. Look up the definition of desolate, my brother.
I have, over time, through research, realized that everything I was taught in school, our history, was a lie. All of it. It's all a lie. We haven't been told the truth about anything. I don't believe anything we've been told is the truth. It is so far off from the truth, it's scary. Who else on the side of being awake? Like, if you know you're awake, you know you're awake. But who else on the awake side are having a really hard time interacting with people who are completely asleep? Like, I can't just get together with people and be like, oh yeah, the weather is sports. Oh, how's the kids? And not talk about the fact our country's being invaded. We are losing. This is the fall of Rome. We are living through the fall of Rome right now. Our country is being invaded. Our government has been taken over. There was a coup involved. The people running our government right now are all paid off and corrupt. Every one of them. I don't care. Congress, Senate, House, doesn't matter. I think most of them are compromised. They're not representing the people at all. And I'm just at the point where I want something to happen. I'm done. I get up and go to work every day. I'm like, why am I doing this? What is this for? So it can all end next week when our government decides to fucking poison us or whatever they're gonna do. I just it's frustrating. It's so frustrating. Make something happen. I don't care. It can be bad. Have the UN show up and knock on my door and arrest me. Whatever you motherfuckers have planned for us, let's just do it. Because this waiting game is getting really old. I'm tired. I'm really tired.
How are we declining?
So I get where you're coming from. Let's get it over with. Everybody's tired of watching the sword hanging over our heads, right? I get where you're coming from. Everybody sees it, except the ones who are in the matrix, who still sleeping, who still don't try to understand the Torah, who still follow Eurocentric doctrine, the same ones who still believe that land in the Middle East is where our ancestors were. Somebody make it make sense, please. I really don't understand how people believe that's the land. Whether or not you agree that Ethiopia is where the promised land is. I think it's uncontested that that dirt in the Middle East is not the real Jerusalem. It's not where Israel was. It don't make sense. They want to put black folks in the dirt, right? Because they know we the people. I saw some people say, yeah, they stole our land. That's our land. That don't even belong to the Palestinians. Well, the Palestinians can have that dirt. Why you think Netanyahu trying to push himself into Africa? Because that's where the promised land is. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go watch the little horn video I just did. I'm going to say this. Based upon what I'm seeing, we are in major prophetic fulfillment. Now, I could be wrong, but it sure looks like it to me. Trump sure looks like the king who exalts himself, or the king of fierce continents. The attributes sure looks similar, and all of this was supposed to happen at the time of the end in the last days. And one thing you can see is that there's a final move. This is a final end time repositioning to see who's going to control the world. And what do you need to control the world? Resources. The colonizers never had enough resources. Europe never had enough resources. Europe has, at least let's say Western Europe, barely has any decent resources. That's why they had to invade Africa. And with the resources of Africa, they controlled the known world. Just like in Black Panther, they wanted vibranium from Africa. They told you what's going on. Y'all don't want to listen. They tried to take Ibrahim out on Saturday. At the same time, they were going after Venezuela. This is a global move. And everybody's repositioning themselves and understand they cannot let Africa become independent. They cannot let Pan-Africanism take over the continent. They cannot let Africa become self-determinant. Because once it does, they're poor. Once it does, they're broke, busted, and disgusted. Look at what's happening to France right now. They have to stop Ibrahim. They have to stop the Sahel Alliance. Why? Because it's going to become contagious, and then everybody going to say, I'm holding on to my stuff. And if they start working together, guess what? America loses influence. France loses influence. Germany and Britain loses influence. They can't have that. And this is why all of a sudden they come out with the AI and developing the robots, and because they got to get rid of a lot of people. Can we say Georgia Guidestones? See, all of this stuff makes sense, but most people don't want to do the research, and most people are dealing with cognitive dissonance. And when people are dealing with cognitive dissonance, you can't tell them anything. Neither do they want to look into the alternative facts. Because they either brainwashed through Eurocentric Christianity or they brainwashed by the public education system. And they act like we have no enemies. We can't defeat anybody. It's the Most High who's going to defeat them. But the Most High says he's going to use us because we're his battle axe and weapons of war. See, the thing is, Christianity has you turning the other cheek. It never meant that to the wicked. That turn the other cheek was an enemy within your own nation. It wasn't dealing with these wicked heathens. Because then they never would have went in and fought and killed the Hittites, the Perizzites, the Canaanites, and all the ites. They were scared when Israel came marching down. Oh, here they come again. You know, they just defeated the Egyptians. Here they come again. They just defeated the Canaanites. Here they come again. They just defeated the Jebusites. Here come the Israelites again. Their God is with them. We can't defeat them. Oh, they just defeated the Philistines. What are we going to do now? But Christianity tells you, turn the other cheek. That's not what the Bible teaches. Turn the other cheek when it's your family member, your fellow brother and sister within your own nation, so that you can have the continuity of the relationship of the kingdom, and the kingdom won't fall because we had a disagreement with amongst our own. That's what it's talking about. Go read the Leviticus. I'm giving knowledge, nothing wrong with that. If you're that sensitive to the truth, you won't make it. Guess what? You're not going to give it here. Not while I'm teaching something else. As a matter of fact, I'm going to put you in timeout. And you're lucky you don't get blocked. I mean, I find it disrespectful, family. I'm sorry. I gave him a chance. He keep messing around. Stop trolling me while I'm trying to teach something. If he don't like it, go somewhere else. He about to get blocked. You know I'm quick to block, right? I'm quick to block. But maybe he can learn something. There you go, Rob. Go get that book, True Jerusalem, the Lost Kingdom of the Israelites. Go defeat that, then come back. Defeat that, then I'll talk to you. But you're not going to read it because you got cognitive dissonance. Like I say, look, you can have your opinion. Just don't come and try to interrupt me while I'm teaching. That's all I'm saying. You can have your opinion. I ain't going to stop you from that. But don't come and interrupt me while I'm teaching. Go do that somewhere else, because guess what? This is not the place to convince anybody. If you want to convince me or you want to convince somebody else, send me an email. Let's have a dialogue in email. Send me your scholarship. Send me your books. Show me your analysis. Show me why you say, well, the land has to be desolate. That's sort of like the camps, right? You might be a camp member. I said you were white, but maybe you was a camp member, because camp members say that kind of stuff. Well, the land is desolate. I like when the camps say, world don't mean world. John 3:16 don't mean world, it means the Israelites. Somebody make it make sense. I can't. I don't know if he's family or Gentile. I don't know. But that's the kind of stuff. The manipulation of the text, or an education problem, and don't understand what the definition of desolate means in a biblical context. Know this, and I guess I'm going off on tangent. If Rob want to know my position, I got a whole bunch of videos on it. I got a whole bunch of articles on it. I have a book on it. I'm like, you want to know my position? Go watch that, go read that, and then come back. Instead of coming here with your ad hominem crap. Because I don't have the patience for it. Because we got a whole bunch of stuff going on right now. We got a whole bunch of family who need help. We got a whole bunch of Israelites who are out of a job, who homeless, who don't have no food, who trying to figure out what to do next. And we all trying to figure this out behind the scenes. We got a lot more problems than your foolishness. If you think I'm wrong, go write your own book. Create your own videos, my brother. Do an analysis of my videos and my teachings and my book, point by point, and try to deconstruct it. You can't, but you can try. Well, fam, bottom line is, what I think is happening, I think we're in the midst of major biblical prophecies. I think there's a high chance, high probability that Trump is the king who exalts himself of Daniel 11:36. I mean, it looks like it to me. I don't know what to tell you. It looks like it to me. So maybe we should at least be on guard. Maybe we should at least have some preparation, a little extra food, a little cash on the side, because guess what? Silver is skyrocketing. Gold is skyrocketing. What does that mean? That means your dollar is devaluing. Do you know how much money I spend on food? It's insane. And I only got a few people that live with me. I can imagine somebody with a huge house. It's insanity. But does Donald Trump care? No, he don't care. Why? Because him and his billionaires are making it off like gangsters. Jacoba, do you think they will succeed in recolonizing Africa? No, they won't. They're going to try. They're going to try, but they're not. Because our judgment is over. They're going to attack, but we're going to win. As a matter of fact, they're not going to be able to hold Venezuela either. Because it's the end of their rule. Babylon is falling. That means everything she set her hands to, she's going to fail. Now, does that mean she's not going to get temporary bases, stuff like that? An outpost? She may. But I think she's going to have more resistance than she even imagined. I think all of Latin America is going to turn against the West. Let's not even talk about Russia and China. It's just a matter of time. Because first thing he did was to implement the tariffs, destroying not only our economy, but the world economy. People are not going to put up with this for too long. It's really interesting and shows you how much influence Rev 2939 in America has over the world is that Gaza has a bunch of their people deleted. And nobody does a thing. It's amazing to me how a lot of people ate a lollipop and a lot of people ain't here and a lot of people sick and a lot of people dying. And guess what? Ain't nobody doing a thing. And most of the Israelites ain't even crying out to the Most High to save us. I don't expect the Christians to, because they're pro-MAGA, a lot of them. They're pro-Charlie Kirk. Somebody make it make sense. I don't expect nothing from them. Understand this. Yahuwah is not mocked. Whatever a man sows, that shall he reap. You think America's time ain't up? America's time is up. Don't expect things to go back to normal. We've been telling y'all that for a long time. While people continue to gaslight us. And people still keep trying to sell you the dirt in the Middle East as the land. Why? Why? I think Netanyahu is associated with the little horn because I believe modern Israel is the little horn. That's my opinion. Because understand, I personally, I don't think that, Netanyahu fits it, the king of the South and North. Because if you look at those scriptures dealing with that, that seems to have dealt with things like that already occurred, like Antiochus Epiphanes, Alexander the Great, stuff like that. Look like some of those is what happened in the past. So that's just my opinion. So we're going to find out. Personally, I would say this. Get your house in order. Because we're in for a roller coaster ride. Obviously, they have a deadline. They have a target deadline. And I believe it to be 2030, which is the UN Agenda 2030. And that's why Trump started off last year with the gear in high. And he didn't let his foot off the gas. And he's still not letting his foot off the gas. Because he's trying to get these things done that his handlers want him to finish real fast. And they're talking about removing your First Amendment right to freedom of speech. They want to put a chip in your head. But they got to bring you to your knees and make you hungry and homeless so that when they give you their solution, which is a nice little small house where you live by yourself, sort of like in Blade Runner, in your smart city with your AI cars and AI planes and your control through the digital ID. This is the plan they got. And they're going to be moving real fast this year. That's why Elon got approval for his brain implants. Remember, Elon told you the only way to survive AI is to merge with it. Y'all remember that? Give me a one if you remember Elon saying the only way to survive, for humanity to survive, is to merge with AI. And it just so happens he's making a Neuralink chip implant. That would make you merge with AI. Somebody make it make sense. Y'all think we conspiracy theorists? Y'all think we crazy or something? They didn't told you what they're doing. They already then reclassified a whole bunch of people who ate a lollipop. Y'all been reclassified, I hope you know. Not to make you scared or nothing, just trust your hood. These people are wicked. If anybody the serpent seed, they are. I've never seen anybody this wicked before. I guess they've always been there, hidden in the shadows. But now they're making their plans visible. And when people talked about it in the past, they dismissed them as conspiracy theorists. And they got gaslighted. And they made videos about them and say they're nuts. They belong in an institution. I would say this. We don't have much time on this platform left, right? Y'all know how high the censorship was during the CV-19? Well, if you pay attention, they're doing it again. There's certain posts I can't make on Facebook. It won't allow it. And they've been hitting our algorithms and our subscriber counts, and they've been reducing our comments. They've been doing a lot of stuff. And I've seen it happen to me. I'll be like, where my comment at? They're working on their algorithms. It's about to become a total nightmare scenario. If you want to know what they got for you, go watch Blade Runner. And what they got for you in the future, outside of Blade Runner, because in Blade Runner, you ain't gonna know who's a male, who's a female, who's a robot, who's not. You can see that, right? You already see it with the videos. Same thing gonna happen. They gonna make it. Look, I wouldn't be surprised they have it already. People walking around here who are androids like Data. Come on now. They probably have it already. Do y'all think they have androids like Data walking around here? I think it's possible. I do. I think it's possible. I'm not going to say they couldn't do it. That's for Star Trek, for people who don't know what I'm talking about when I say Data. Commander Data of the Starship Enterprise. They want to corrupt the Most High's creation. And guess what? A lot of people following it. And a lot of the youth are easily susceptible because the youth grew up in it. Just like we grew up in Christianity. They grew up in this system. They don't know what's happening. This is their world. Why do you think the youth like alphabets? Why they keep mixing black struggles with alphabet struggles? This is the only world they know. Their brains are conditioned and they're rejecting Torah. I get it if they reject Christianity, the religion. But they're not even willing to look into the Torah. They're not willing to look and see if we really are the people of the book. That's why you can literally see a few make it. The Apocrypha says this earth was made for many people, but the world to come is made for a few. I get it. There's a lot of voices you can listen to, and a lot of voices you are listening to. And they might be leading you down the wrong path. And they have no good track record. I got a good track record. So, fam, this is going to be interesting times. Keep an eye on the news. Watch the events. I think we're in the book of Revelation, the book of Daniel, which to me denotes, right? Like I say, my opinion, it denotes that the wilderness is next. But if the wilderness is next, then that means persecution is next, because the dragon comes to make war with the woman. And the woman has to go into the wilderness to escape. Say, family, I have a question. Yes or no? Answer this for me, family. Did I not say, family, this is not the place for this? Did I not say that? If he wanted to talk, he could do that. He could do that in an email or something. Yes or no? So now that he's disrespected me, I'm going to block him. Okay? I gave him a chance. Told him if he want to have this conversation, he can have it offline. Bye, Rob. All right, fam, that's all I got. Hope y'all enjoyed it. Hope y'all learned something. Hopefully it tickled you to do your own research, and you might can add to what I have, give some more insight, and you know, we're gonna see what's gonna happen, right? I would say we are in dangerous times. Definitely in dangerous times. So if y'all want to support this ministry, you can. You can become a patron. You can go to tailministry.com, click on the donations tab. You can see other options for giving. You can give Cash App, $TOTW7101, $TOTW7101. You could buy my brother book. They always knew we were Israelites. You could buy my book, True Jerusalem, The Lost Kingdoms of the Israelites. You can understand. The research is there. Primary sources is there. Solid biblical exegesis, in my opinion, is there. But you won't know that till you read it. So, fam, like, share, and subscribe. Appreciate y'all. And also, thank you all who supported Sister Jakira and her kids. We appreciate it. She really appreciated it. And y'all help a family out. So keep up the good work, fam. Love y'all with the love of Messiah. Peace and blessings, Israel. Your captivity is ending. Well, family, the wait is over. The moment has arrived where truth emerges triumphant from the shadows of history. Introducing the True Jerusalem, the Lost Kingdoms of the Israelites. The groundbreaking work by me, Jacoby Vale, a journey into the past that reshapes the future. I cut through centuries of misconceptions with piercing clarity. This book delivers a compelling case packed with evidence that commands attention and gonna get some respect. Come with me for a second, family, and discover how these thrilling civilizations flourished, protected by towering highlands and sustained by advanced engineering. Some have asked, where is Jerusalem? Is it the land in the Middle East? I say no. It is in the highlands of Ethiopia. With hours of groundbreaking research, this book brings in a new revelation, and it will transform your understanding of African history and its connections to the ancient world. It's going to remove from your mind the conditioning by the Romans of what has really happened to our past. Come with me, family, to the Ethiopian highlands and find out why this is our land. Why things have been hidden and obfuscated for centuries. We are royalty, children of the Most High. What kind of land do you expect us to have? Dried up dirt in the Middle East, or land flowing with rivers? A land full of beautiful animals flowing with milk and honey. Don't miss out on this monumental unveiling. Grab your copy today and stand on the side of truth. Visit Amazon.com or www.tailministries.com to purchase your book and join Jacoby Vale's teachings on Tail Ministries. Family, your journey to hidden history has now begun. So family, get your copy of True Jerusalem, The Lost Kingdoms of the Israelites today. Journey to the heart of Africa, where history and legend converge to reveal the forgotten kingdoms of the Israelites and the true location of Jerusalem.